Back, yeah. Yeah, hello again. Thanks, guys, for tuning back in. I don't really know what the problem is because the internet is okay. I can still watch everything, but somehow the live stream always cuts out. Yeah, German internet was fine for the last days, months, and weeks. Don't really know what the problem is now. Like I said, I can still watch everything. It's fine, but it's the first time I do this live stream. Yeah, let's see. Last time we could do half an hour. Let's see how long we can do it now. So, looks like Mercedes is up next. So let's see what we can do there. What we can see here. How do you think Antonelli will do this year? Because there's so much pressure on the kid, especially after his Imola crash. By the way, is the audio better now? Because I have a different headset. Can you hear me okay? Better audio, okay. Thank you. Let's have a look at this thing. Is it a real car? A show car? Last year's car? Looks like they performed a good stop. Tire change. First look, same as last year. Pretty straight front wing flaps, so pretty horizontal, creating that much upwash. Okay, here we can see some differences. Super thin side part, but I think it's because it's thicker on the inboard side. Almost looks like a smiley mouth there at the front. And the free hanging rear wing flap, so pretty big cutout there. Oh, okay, we have outwashing duct with the lower forward front wing plate. It's a pretty straight front wing endplate. It seems to be the same. Pretty big shark fin. And Red Bull inlets. Red Bull side pod inlets. Strong overbite. What a huge undercut area. Look at that. It's almost as if there is nothing. P-shaped inlet, like last year, to a bit more extreme shape with the strong overbite. Pretty low floor ceiling, so we have a huge bulge for the lower side impact structure. Still have push rod front suspension. I'm actually quite impressed that we don't just see show cars with different colors, so we see some interesting stuff here, which is great. The the center bodywork doesn't look as downwashing as others. You usually want to downwash a lot of air in front of the rear wing, so the angle of attack that the rear wing sees is extreme, so you work the rear wing harder. And some new sponsors. The silver airbox instead of the red one. Ineos is not there anymore. Where did these Formula One cars go? So they list them up. Okay, so they're not lifting them to the ceiling and carry them away. That would be great for underbody shots. Okay, some chat in between again. Any sponsors, and there are still quite some sponsors of the Mercedes. We've seen other cars before of this. So what do you think? Did Mercedes do a good job over the winter? Do you think they understand the car now, finally? It's not such a diva anymore? Because I guess it's going to be an evolution of last year's car, which was quite a good basis, but still tricky to drive in some conditions. This year, last year before the rule change, it was really interesting to see who understands their car best. Of course, McLaren has a huge advantage here because they did a good job last year already. Red Bull had a hard time in the middle of the season, but then got it together until like at the end of the season. Mercedes, every now and then, did a good job. And Ferrari, Ferrari to me is also looking pretty good. Fred Vasseur is bringing in like the new style, new, like, lots of change to Ferrari. Let's see what Hamilton can do this year. Leclerc is a very good driver, and let's see if Hamilton can compete with him, can actually reach. Because Hamilton is hyped quite a lot. Um, Leclerc is a really good driver, and let's see how Hamilton will look like next to him. I think what do you think when we talk about Ferrari? We talk about Red Bull first. So Red Bull without Adrian Newey didn't have the full picture in mind. So when Newey left, it was pretty much the beginning of last season. So that's when he stopped helping them. Um, they kind of only looked at the numbers in the wind tunnel instead of looking at the overall drivability of the car, which made the car quite tricky to drive, which you could see in Paris's performance. Um, you could also see that with Max later on. So even Verstappen was struggling later on, and I think that's fine. But instead of changing that, they were still trying to put on more downforce to the car, which made it even trickier to drive. And then just at the end of the season, kind of find this, you know. So let's see what they did wrong. So how can they perform without Newey? Because basically Red Bull never performed without Newey before. Newey was there from the very beginning when they had good results. Or because of him, they had good results. And people just try to uh, optimize for Newey. The thing is, he's very experienced in a lot of different areas, not just aerodynamics, it's also race engineering, it's also seeing things from the driver's point of view. And he's not there anymore. So it's going to be interesting to see how Red Bull cope with that. What was that? Nice sport. Of course, we need to promote the Ford cooperation a bit, Ford partnership. So which nice Fords do you have? Or do they have? These are not Fords. W's, BMW gang. Okay, what do they want to tell us with that? An NSX? NSX. It's quite a nice situation because they have Honda as their engine partner, so they can show some Honda stuff, some Japanese stuff, and their new Ford Corporation, so they can show some American things. So what's the message here? Everyone who's cool likes Red Bull. Yeah, such a long video. Okay. Cool people are coming in now. Makes the drivers look quite boring. Right? Okay, let me see here. So Red Bull is the one team where you can be sure they won't show you this year's car. So it looks pretty much like last year's car with the airbox. Oh, nice, Steven. Yeah, good to see one-time subscriber here. I think you don't just hear celebrations when they say first stop. You can hear some boo in the background. No, I can just try this one. That was everything of Red Bull. The drivers didn't say anything. Just quickly waved them. Sit down again. No, I don't have pets. My pets are my cars. Oh, thank you very much. Glad you like the content. Currently, I'm actually redesigning Zeppelins for the next tech video. So pretty soon we should have a deep dive into the LZ127 Zeppelin technology, which is also quite interesting. I hope you like that. But of course, next week is pre-season testing, so we will be looking at all the details on the F1 cars. Oh, the DKW, yes. It's completely black now, so I already painted 2 layers, but I can't keep on painting because it's too cold right now. We have minus 13 degree here right now. It's outside of the garage. It's not heated, so it's a bit too cold for painting. So I'm waiting with that. I'm working on the looper right now, the gearbox change, and getting this thing back on the road. Um, with the DKW should be basically my everyday car here. That is the ambitious plan. So it should be my new daily. So because during the summer my daily was my Trabant, which was quite cool. Although I had a Viper and a Corvette and stuff, but I was driving the Trabant and went grocery shopping and to the DIY shop and stuff with this one. Um, and that job should be for DKW in the future, which is quite nice because you have suicide doors, you have seat belts inside, you have very old technology, pre-war technology in there. So really cool, but still a lot to do with this one. I just made it nice looking outside, so I fixed a lot of the dents, scratches, and repainted the car now, so it looks nice for the first time because it was always had a weird paint job before. Originally it was black, so I made it black again. I mean, in terms of daily, actually it has a pretty huge trunk because I have one of the first F9s with the pre-war design, so with the um, fuel tank in front. And if you take the spare wheel out and you don't have a fuel tank in the back, it's a really big trunk, although it has this aerodynamic rear end. Inside, it's quite spacious. It has a 900cc engine, but it's actually not faster than a Trabant. It's just 300 kilogram heavier and it's 4 horsepower more, so 30 horsepower instead of 26. But it looks really cool. This old 1930s aero style, and mine is, like I said, black now. I also want to lower it by quite a bit, and it will get a nice exhaust system, so it should sound great. So that will be nice. It's just when I'm done with the Lupo, with the gearbox change, I will put the F9 back on the lift, and then I can continue with brakes and exhaust, and then we can drive. Okay, the new Ferrari is there. You see the nose connected to the second element. Some white front, perhaps a bit more white, I believe. Pretty chunky, big side pods, huge undercut area, but not as big as the Mercedes. Okay. Nice big downwashing area, and they have these huge outlets again. So not the louvers, they just have a single huge cutout there. Front suspension, wing looks familiar. Oh, first time Hamilton, yeah. Yeah, the F9 is two-stroke, so it's going to be an amazing sound. Pretty big side pod. So huge vertical side pod ball over guide. So the upper lip of the side pod inlet is further forward by quite a bit. They do this to have um, a very clean airflow in the important downwashing area, so they can get more clean air to the downforce producing parts at the back. And here we can see the side pod inlet. We can also see another duct underneath, I think. Mm. So Ferrari has a bit more cooling in the side pods, less in the airbox, which makes the airbox slimmer, and they have a cleaner flow to the rear wing, which is great. And their side pods are not so much bigger than other teams. Nice shiny wings. Also super big shark fin and pretty flat angle. So teams are using the shark fin to keep the front wheel wake away from the downforce producing parts and corners. So bigger shark fin means better and reliable downforce in the combat, which is a good thing. But if you have a big shark fin, you also create this shark fin tip vortex that can be emitted from the roof and the darkness. It's unusual for now. And so you create this shark fin tip vortex. And if this one is hitting the rear wing, you're losing performance. So it's always a trade-off between creating this tip vortex or to keep the front rear wake away from the important parts of the back. And actually, still know Kali from his time at Audi, so he was part there between Ferrari and Formula One. He was at Lamborghini when I was at Audi. We really have a chance here this year to see one of the best Formula One seasons ever. So last year was already very good in terms of statistics. If you see different race winners, but this year could be even better. Really nice that Zach Brown is taking over all the political stuff, and then Andrea Stella can just concentrate on the technology. That's a really strong team structure. Which one is your favorite McLaren of the last years? Mine is the MP42B, so the super bulgy turbo car. This one here. Here, this one. The louder car with the Porsche V6 and this double rear wing. That thing really looks like a turbo monster. Yeah, MP44, of course. Great car, great looking, great design. But somehow I like this bulgy, this monstrous look of the MP42. Okay, MP423, yeah, that's a nice one. I really like the MP426 as well with the L-shaped side-body nuts. That's a nice one as well. Okay, Andreas Stella is still there, or he came on the stage anyway. I think 2008 was the peak of aero. If you look at the cars, the shapes are so complex even by today's standards. Incredible cars. When I was working at McLaren, I always went downstairs and tried to replicate parts of the 2008 car in 2007, just as a aero design training. Is that a new car? It just looks like last year's car. Of course, from an engineer's point of view, why would you show something new here? We need the car next year, next week, for the test. Yeah, lots of black could hint to weight saving. But usually in this area, where the airflow is so important and stressed, you don't really want any paint if possible, because even these little steps between pure carbon stickers can trip off the flow. So you want to avoid split lines and stickers in this area. And from the side, we have a lot of color. I mean, last year people were complaining that the McLaren looks so boring, and then it won the championship. And the thing is, it's not about looking exciting or boring. It's just about being consistent, being easy to drive, nice to handle, and keeping the tires in shape for as long as possible. So the car doesn't really look that exciting, and it looks, in terms of livery, just like last year. But it doesn't mean that it's bad. How did they get these five, six cars at the station? They have these movable platforms for each one of them. Yes. So in preseason testing, we won't really see who will win the championship, but we will see who is struggling. Okay, we've seen all the cars now. So what else is there to come now? So actually, there was less entertainment in between than I thought. But also, like I said before, if you want to present 10 teams, you can't really have a lot of concerts and artists in between. So it's actually a nice evening, although you don't see too much, but you see a little bit. So we've seen some interesting things. And yeah, I'm doing amateur racing, yeah. Go-karting since I'm 5. Um, track days at the nearby racetrack. Sometimes it's always planned. Don't have enough time for that. Okay, now we can enjoy the Take That concert, but I don't think we really have to do this anymore. I think we've seen all the cars. Like I said, we've seen some interesting things. I think this event is okay. It's I saw more interesting things than I thought I would. It was less entertainment than I thought, and in terms of time frame, it's also pretty much what I expected. But I don't think I would go to this event. I wouldn't travel to London to be there. But you can still have a nice evening on the sofa and see a couple of interesting things. Yeah. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments below if that's possible. And we will stop this stream here, and have a good night. And then see you for the next videos and definitely next week for the preseason testing. So bye.